Hi, you guys. I've had a couple of guys contact me through email and WhatsApp and Facebook and what have you, saying they've now fitted a Weber to their vehicle, and they're struggling to start. Once it starts, it runs, and they also struggle to adjust the idling. But it's a quite a battle to start it, and it shouldn't be like that. So I've dotted a couple of things down, and I'll share that with you guys. I'll also try and simulate a few scenarios just to prove a few points. So one of the biggest things that you experience when you struggle to start is air leaks all over the carb and on the manifold and everywhere. You've got to really look for that. And I think the easiest way to do that is just to spray everywhere on the manifold with carb cleaner. I have made a video on that in the past on one of my issue carbs. But take carb cleaner, once you get it started and you've got it running, spray it all over the carb, all over your carb spacer on the manifold. Just mind you don't fucking set it alight. But yeah, just spray, and as soon as it sucks in that carb cleaner, it'll idle a little bit higher. So air leaks is a major problem. Make sure you've got your carb base is nice and flat. You've got decent gaskets on. Your carb spacer fits properly. Your bolts tighten properly that you don't run out of thread. Quite a few things to look at, but air is a major problem. Something else you have to look at is your spark timing. Set it according to what your specification is for your vehicle. Don't set it different now because you've got a Weber carb on or whatever. If in your book, your specification says 8 degrees before top dead center, set it like that. If it says 10 degrees, set it like that. Don't listen to other people. Just set it like that. Set it what the book says, because that's how your engine was designed. Once you get into performance and that, you can adjust your timing. But for normal use, set it according to what the book says. And if you do that, you'll be fine. Remember, when you set your timing on a carb, you've got to remove the vacuum advance. So no vacuum advance connected. And plug that little hole. Then you set your timing like that. Something else you have to look at is valve clearance. I had a guy with a 450 quad come here, and it didn't want to start on the button. You tow it behind the car, it starts, it runs. You can run with it all day long. As soon as it dies, you can't start it. And it turned out to be the valve timing. The valve clearance was so small that when it cranks slowly, there's so much lead by that it actually doesn't suck fuel into the carb, and it just wouldn't start. Once you tow it and it speeds up a little bit, it gets a bit of motion, it fires up and it runs. So make sure your valve clearance is perfect. And also, again, set it to what it says in the book, or if you've got a cam in, set it on what your cam supplier tells you to set it. Because they know. Just do it like that and you'll be fine. Something else you have to look at is your spark plugs and your spark gap. Make sure you use the correct spark plugs for your vehicle, and make sure you set your spark gap according to what your vehicle specifications are. Don't go bigger or smaller or whatever. If it says it's 0.8, set it at 0.8. If it says it's 0.7, set it like that. Use the spec in the book. I mean, that's why these guys that design these engines, they know what they're doing. Just listen to them and you'll be fine. Another big contributor is spark itself. Not the spark plugs, but spark itself. So when you try and crank, your starter motor is now running. And obviously that's going to reduce the spark that your engine gets. Once you release the starter motor and it's not running, it doesn't draw all that amps anymore. The voltage in the whole circuit is higher and you get more spark. So use a spark tester, make sure you've got decent spark. Spark must jump at least like that or like that. Make sure, use a spark tester, put it on, check it on all the spark plugs, make sure you've got decent spark. Once you've done all of that, all those 5 things, then you can start looking at your carb. And I'll try and create a couple of scenarios on my vehicle on what you can look for when your vehicle doesn't want to start. So here's my car, my vehicle, and it's fairly cold still. The carb is fairly cold, but I'm going to start it 2 or 3 times. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen the idle screw that holds the jet. Just going to loosen it. Actually, I want to, because that seal is still sealing in there. It's just loose. So So it's going to suck more fuel, and you'll see the difference. Struggles to start. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tighten it again. It's all I've done. Just tighten it. I'm going to let it burn off that excess fuel and start it 2 or 3 times again. All that happened there is same jet, same everything. I didn't touch the throttle. It just was able to suck through more fuel because the jet, the end of the jet wasn't seating on the inside of the carby. So if your car struggles to start, don't worry about main jets and air jets and all of that, because they don't work when you're idling. It's not their job. Look at your idle circuit. There's something wrong with your idle circuit. Your idle circuit is what makes it start. And I didn't pump the gas for the accelerator pump to spray. That helps. So if you have to pump the accelerator to make it start, it means your idle jet's too small. And if it starts sounding like that, then you know your idle jet's too big. Trial and error. Go bigger, go smaller. Very interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I hope this helps someone. Keep well.